Hello, I want to take you through how you can navigate through the practice test, your practice test dashboard, even your Udemy account. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can access all our practice tests. Remember, once you sign in on Udemy and then you enroll in any course, the courses will be saved on your profile. So you can always go back to your learning account and view all the courses that you have enrolled in. So if you have signed up for any of our practice tests, and you're wondering how you can access the practice test, how you can navigate through the dashboard and start taking the practice test, then you need to watch this video to the end. So in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can access your practice test and then how you can take the practice test. So you will see every component of the dashboard and what each of them symbolize. So first and foremost, you need to enroll in the practice. And once you have enrolled, you can always go to your profile, go to your learning profile and see all the courses you have signed up for, or you come to this search bar and type any keyword related to the practice test you have signed up for. And now, I need to remind you too that you can access your Udemy courses and practice tests using your browser on your mobile phone or using the app on your mobile phone or even using your computer. So here I'm going to show you how you can take the practice test using your computer. Now, if you cannot go to your profile and see all the practice tests you have enrolled in, you can just come to the search bar on your browser. Sorry, once you have already come into the Udemy website, you can go to the search bar and type JAMB. Okay, because all our the practice tests we've now are based on JAMB, but with time we'll get more for other exams like WAEC and NICO. So you are looking for JAMB CBT practice tests from us. So you just type JAMB and you've seen all the practice tests. So let's say you've enrolled in JAMB 2025 English Language Exam CBT test. You just click on it, loading, you give it some time to load. So I've enrolled in this practice test, the JAMB 2025 English Language Exam CBT test. I've enrolled in it and then I want to start taking the test. Now, before we start taking the test, I want to take you through every menu of this dashboard. Okay. The overview menu is where you see details about the practice test or the course. As you can see, under the overview menu, you have the subtitle, you have the number of questions, you have the number of students that have enrolled, and then you have the ratings and other details, including the practice test description, as you can see here, and then the author's profile. Now, if you want to check who the author is, the instructor is, you can just click on this and it will take you right away to the profile of the instructor. All right, but that's not what we're here to do. We want to learn how to take the test. Good. So that's the overview menu. Then this is the Q&A menu, okay, where you have questions and answers. Then this is where you keep notes. Then this is where you see all the announcements from the instructor. And then this is where you see all the reviews and ratings. Please, I have to plead with you whenever you enroll in any of our practice tests and courses, please, as you are taking the practice test or the course, you'll be prompted by Udemy to leave us reviews and ratings. Please leave us your sincere feedback and what you think of the practice test or the course. Okay, and then this is the learning tools. Learning tools. Let's say you want to set up a reminder so that Udemy can help you to remind you about the practice test and the courses, and then keep you on. Let's say you're already losing interest. Udemy will be sending you reminders from time to time so that whenever you're scheduled to take a course or the test, Udemy will remind you, then you get to it. So let's say you you've already come into this dashboard and you're wondering what all those things represent. Now, this practice test and every other ones we have made, they exist in two modes. okay, or format. So we have the practice mode, and then we have the exam mode. The practice mode is where you flex your muscle, where you warm up, where you get started, okay? You're preparing yourself, getting ready for the real deal. So in the practice mode, you are just going to, test yourself. You want to have an overview of what the real exam is going to look like. So you enter the practice mode. In the practice mode, you will have the same number of questions, same duration, and even passing score. But the thing here is that you are not timed, okay? The duration is zero and the passing score is zero for the practice mode. So you are not timed. You are not pressured, okay? You are not pressurized to complete the test or even to score high or to get all the questions right. So in the practice mode, you are taking your time. You are taking your time. So let's say you want to start with the practice mode. You are not ready yet to take the exam, the real exam. So you enter the practice mode. Now, before we start taking this practice test, I want to show you something. If you look at the right side of the screen, you can see the practice test. Okay, so we have six practice tests: basic level 1, intermediate level 2, advanced level 3, comprehension and summary, lexics and structure, and test of orals, and then recommended normal. So you can always jump over to any of the practice tests that you would like to start with. You must not start with the first one. Okay? You can jump to any of them that you want to start with. Let's say you have problems, difficulties with your lexics and structure and your test of orals. You can quickly move to test of orals and start with that. So, but let's start with advanced level 3 in this uh, sample test. Okay. Now, we will enter the practice mode of advanced level 3. Now, in the practice mode, remember every practice test from us comes with a description, okay? But in the practice mode, Udemy will not show you our own description. They will only show you the instructions for the practice test. In the instructions, these are things you should expect. One, you can click check answer to receive immediate feedback and answer explanations. Good. Now remember, in our practice test, as I've said many times, and you must have seen from the description, to every question, you have four options and then an overall explanation. So when you answer a question, expect an overall explanation of why the one you chose is right or wrong. That is why one of the options is right and why the other ones are wrong. So we add explanations to all the questions. So when you answer any of the questions, you're going to see the result immediately. Now in the practice mode, once you choose any of the options, you will see the answers immediately. Like you see the result. You see whether you got it right or not. And then below the questions, you are going to see an overall explanation we added to each of the questions so that you can um, quickly and instantly know why the one of the options is right and why the other ones are wrong. So another feature of this or things you should expect is that you can select domains you would like to focus on in the upper left hand corner and receive only questions in these areas to focus on. So the practice tests, all our practice tests are grouped into domains. Okay, they are grouped into domains. So in every of the practice tests, you're going to see different domains. Domains I mean in this case is in English language, remember, all the exams you'll be taking in JAMB, WAEC, and NECO, they are grouped into different categories. We have comprehension and summary, lexics and structure, and test of oral. So these are the domains. Okay. So in each of the practice tests, you will be having set of questions from comprehension and summary, set of questions from lexics and structure, and set of questions from test of oral. So you can go to any of them you would like to start with. So let's say you want to test your abilities in lexics and structure. You can select lexics and structure and test yourself only in that domain. So that's what this means. Then the third instruction is you can click the bookmark icon to mark a question for it. So let's say there is a particular question that is looking somehow confusing or you want to keep and return to later, you can bookmark it. The next one is you can take a break at any time and resume later. This is wonderful. Okay, this is a very interesting feature. With this feature, you can always rest. Okay, you must not complete the test as soon as you start it. Okay, you can just pause, then go and do other things and return to the test later and resume your learning. Then you can retake the test as many times as you like. This is this is so real and true. Remember, once you enroll in this practice test and all our courses, okay, on Udemy, you have a lifetime access to them. It means that once you pay for them or once you get them for free, they remain yours forever. Okay, you can always come back anytime and retake them. Okay, then the last instruction is the progress bar at the top of the screen will show your progress. So as you're taking the practice test, there is going to be a progress bar at the top of the screen that will be monitoring, that will be showing you how far you've gone, okay? How much of the questions you have answered and what remains to be completed. So this is it. Now I am ready. I am ready to begin this practice test. So I'm going to click on begin test. Good. So this is it. This is the dashboard. Now remember, in the instruction, we were told something about domains. This is it. So these are the domains under this practice test. We have comprehension passage, basis and structure, and oral forms. That is test of oral. And look at this, all questions. All questions. Now, when you're answering the questions, when you're taking the test, you can pause and check the number of correct ones, check the number of incorrect ones you have answered, and then check the ones you have skipped, check the ones you have marked for review, and check the ones you have not answered yet. So these are the features that makes this practice test very flexible and easy to take. Okay, so this one too is like a reminder. Answer the questions to enable the check answer button. Click check answer to get immediate feedback and answer explanations. As I've told you before, and then, okay, so they're trying to guide us. Practice answering questions from the domain of your choice. That's good. Okay, so these are the questions from 1 to 60. So in this practice test, this particular one, practice test 3, we have 60 questions. The same thing with all the other practice tests. Now, we are about to get started, but I need to show you something. See, this is the first question, question 1. Okay, and this is a comprehension passage. You need to read this short paragraph and then answer the question that follow. Now I've added instructions to each of the comprehension passages, how you will answer the questions and other things you need to know. And look at what we have here. Read this paragraph and answer questions 1 to 5. This test is repeated across the 5 question passages. Find the question at the end of the paragraph and choose the correct answer from the options. So the information here is telling you that this particular passage is repeated across the first 5 questions. So from question 1 to 5, you'll be using this passage to answer the question. So you can read it once, and then if you can still recall what you read the first time, then the next 4 questions, you answer them without reading the passages again. But let's say when you go to question 2, you've already forgotten what you read in the first instance. You will also see this passage in the second one, third one, fourth one, and the fifth question. Okay, so that's what the instruction is all about. Then under the passage, you will see the particular question uh, for that question number. So in the first question, that is question 1, you have what is the main idea of the passage. Now, before you can answer this, you must have gone through the passage. You must have read it. And if you're very good at reading passages, you can quickly scan through and pick the main point, then answer the questions. So according to the question, it says, what is the main idea of the passage? So I've read this, I've quickly gone through this, and I'm going to answer. So what is the main idea of the passage? AI is completely dangerous. AI systems should not be used in healthcare. AI will replace all human jobs in the future. Okay, so I think the fourth one is the correct answer. So I'm going to click and check. Good. Wow. So I got it right. So the correct answer is AI has many benefits that also raises ethical concerns. And then under the options, you can see the overall explanation. Okay. Uh, in the overall explanation, you are going to see the correct answer repeated and then the reasons why it is correct. Now, this practice test is very comprehensive, complete, and self explanatory. Now, with this practice test, you can be assured that you're going to score high in your JAMB examination. Why? Because to every question, we have four options, okay? And then out of the four options, you choose the correct one. And then when you make a choice, you're going to see the result, okay? You will see overall explanations. Some tests don't usually give explanations to why the options are right and then are wrong. Some of the options are wrong and why that particular one is right. So in this our practice test, we have gone a step further to give you overall explanations of why a particular option is correct and why the other ones are wrong. So across all the practice tests, you'll be seeing the overall explanations for in all of the questions. And this feature is the same. What you see here in the practice mode is what you also get in the exam mode. But the difference is that when you click on any of the options, okay, and click on, in fact, in the exam mode, you will not see the option to check your answers, okay, until you are done with the test. In the exam mode, once you select an option, you click next to the next question. You are not going to see the summary or the explanations until you are done with the test. But in the practice mode, once you make a choice, once you pick any of the options and click on check answer, you will see the overall explanation right away. So that's why I told you earlier that the practice mode is a place where you um, warm up, okay, where you prepare yourself. It helps you to play around the dashboard and the test and get to know what to expect in the um, exam mode. Okay, and as you can see, this question is under the comprehension passage domain. So I'm done with the first one. Let's move to the next. The same, as I told you earlier, the same paragraph will be repeated across the first five questions. So if you want to read through this passage again, you can do that. But if you can still remember what you read the first time, you will just go straight to the question and start answering. So according to question two, we have that according to the passage, what is one risk of AI in criminal justice? Okay, you go through the options. I think the third option is right. So let me check my answer. Wow, I got it right. And then I will scroll down and see the overall explanation. So you can see here, you'll be shown the correct answer, you'll be given the overall explanation, and then you'll see the related concept. All right. So this is how it is done. You can also click on next question and be taking the practice test until you get to the end. So let's say I want to skip some of the questions and move to maybe the last one. So the last question, question 60, says, which question would best contrast with this statement? He borrowed a book, not a magazine. Hmm. Okay. He borrowed a book, not a magazine. Hmm. All right. Let me choose the third option. Wow. So I got it right. Great. So under the options, you'll see the overall explanations. Okay. So this is it. You can run through them. You can scroll, you can jump and get to any question that you would like to take. Okay. That is for the practice mode. But in the exam mode, I advise you to take the test sequentially. Good. So as you can see under here, this question is from the oral forms domain. You can see the domains here. So you can always jump to any of them. So when you click on any of the domains, it will gather, the system will gather all the questions under that domain and present to you. Let's say I want to take questions from oral forms. It will gather all the questions under oral forms domain and show me. So I'm done with this test, even though I didn't answer all the questions, but I want to end it here. So I'm going to click on finish test. I will get a prompt asking me whether I really want to finish this practice test. Yes, I want to finish it. So I'll click on finish test. Good. Then once you click on finish test, you are going to see all the results. Now there is something I need to show you. Let's say you the dashboard is so small for you. This view is very small. You can click on this. It will change it to full screen. Okay, this is the full screen. So here is an analysis of my performance. Okay, so I got 5% correct, and I only answered and got 3 out of the 60 questions correct, and I finished this practice test under 9 minutes. Okay, and the date is March 5, 2025, and then the time is 8 minutes past 9 a.m. So this is it. Now, as you can see here, this is an analysis of your performance, okay? And this is the first time I'm taking it. So this is first attempt. And as you can see here, the practice mode. Now, the green colored part of this pie, the correct ones, then these are the incorrect ones. I didn't get any of them wrong. Then the rest are the skipped or unanswered questions. So I skipped a lot of them. So that's why this one is much. Then, as you can see, these are the domains: comprehension passage, 25 questions; lexis and structure, 25 questions; oral forms, 10 questions. And if you remember, I took 2 questions from comprehension passage and 1 question from oral forms. That's why you have this here. Okay, so let me exit the full screen. Good. So this is what the practice mode looks like. Okay. I want us to also go through the exam mode. All right. So I'll click on continue to move to the next test. So this is comprehension and summary practice test. I'm going to use it to show you how the exam mode works. Okay. We practice with the practice mode. Now we're going to practice with the exam mode. And as you can see here, simply presented, in the practice mode, same number of questions with the exam mode. In the practice mode, you have duration as none, passing score as none. But in the exam mode, you have your duration and passing score listed, okay, so that you don't forget. So here you need to take this practice test under in 30 minutes, and then you need to score at least 80% for you to pass it. If you score anything below 80%, you have failed this practice test. But I know you are going to score more than 80%. And all the practice tests, all the 6 practice tests, they have different duration and different passing score. So always check the passing score of each of the practice tests you're taking. So I want us to go into the exam mode right now. So you click on it, exam mode. Now, in the exam mode, you are going to see the instructor's explanation and description of what is contained in that text. So as you can see here, this is the description of the test from the instructor. Now, I suggest that you read through it so that you get to see and know what you'll be meeting. 60 questions, 30 minutes, 80% correct, required to pass. So these are the features of this practice test. Okay, good, good. So then this is the instruction from the from Udemy. The same, similar to what you saw in the practice mode, but some uh, differences. So the first one is you can pause the test at any time and resume later. Good. So let's say you are taking the test and you need to quickly rush and do something. You can always pause the test, then return to it later. You can retake the test as many times as you like, as it's correct. So you can take this um, practice test million times. Okay. So once you enroll, you can always come back anytime and start taking the practice test. And if you fail, your first attempt, you can come back. Even if you passed, you can also return later to test yourself. Remember, you need to familiarize yourself with this practice test so that it will help to prepare you for the D-Day, the day you're going to write your JAMB. Okay? One of the challenges that many students and JAMB candidates have um, is not that they are not intelligent or smart enough to pass their JAMB once and for all, but because they are not conversant with digital technologies. Many JAMB candidates have not used laptops before, and that's very terrible. So if you are not familiar with um, the dashboards of online tests, online test systems, if you have not taken tests online before, if you have not practiced with real jam questions with on a computer or phone, if you've not taken a test like this before, you're definitely going to have challenges in the jump exam. Okay, because first you need to know how to use a computer for you to take this jump test. You need to know how to handle systems. Okay, so with this practice test, you get to learn how to navigate through a digital test system. All right, so and remember, you can either use your phone or your laptop, desktop computer to take this practice test. So by enrolling in this practice test and practicing, you're already preparing yourself to score 300 and above in your JAMB exam. I promise you, if you take our practice test, you're going to have an edge. You have an edge because this is a high quality practice test prepared with you in mind. We want to support you. We want to help you to score high in your JAMB examination so that you can get that admission you are seeking once and for all and make yourself proud. So let's get started. I want to get started with the test. So I will click on begin test. Remember, once you start this test, you can always pause it. You can always come back and resume. All right, so I've clicked on begin test. See here at the right corner of the screen, you can see that you are timed. Okay, you are timed. So you can pause. As you can see, you can leave this page and resume this test at any time. Your progress will be saved. Good. So I want to resume. I've paused the test. So as I clicked on that pause icon, the the test paused. So once I click on resume test, the timing will resume immediately. And here you can see all questions skipped or answered and marked for review. Now, remember in the practice mode, we saw the domains of the practice test, but here you only see all questions. In practice mode, we saw all questions and domain, but here you only see all questions. So, but remember, the domains are still the same thing. The number of questions that are still the same thing. So let's say I don't want to answer, maybe I don't understand what this question one is all about. I want to come back to it later. I can skip it and move over to question 57. So I'm going to read this. Read the excerpt below extracted from Turning Challenges into Triumphs. Learn how Donald Trump approached adversity and turned challenges into opportunities. Link to get the book is attached below. This passage is for questions 46 to 60 and will be available throughout the questions pages for you to read again. Find the question below this passage and pick the right answer from the options. Now, we call this closed passages. Closed passages. That is extracting passages from a book, okay, and presenting it as a comprehension, then leaving spaces where you fill in the right answer. So as you can see, this is similar to a comprehension passage, but as you can see, there are dashes within the passage where you have to fill in the gap with the right answer. So before you can answer this question, you need to read through this passage very well. But if you already have this recommended book, the book that is recommended for this is uh, Turning Challenges into Triumphs. Turning Challenges into Triumphs, a book on Donald Trump. So if you can browse right now and then get that book, it's going to help you a lot. Turning Challenges into Triumphs. Learn how Donald Trump approached adversity and turned challenges into opportunities. So it's online. You have it. We have it in paperback and ebook. So you can go online and get the book and read. But if you can't, there is no problem. Everything you need to answer this question, the 15 questions are contained within this passage. So let's get started with the first one. The first question is, additionally, setbacks force individuals to reassess their dash and refine their strategies. So you can be able to answer this if you have gone through this. Okay. Um, so let's see. Let's see. Additionally, setbacks force individuals to reassess their dash and refine their strategies. Okay, I think goals is the correct one. So I'm going to click on next question. Now remember, in the exam mode, just like the way it will be during your JAMB examination, once you answer a question, you will not see the summary, you will not see the explanation until you are done. Until you are done. So you're not going to see the explanations to all those questions until you are done. This is the real exam mode and not the practice mode. It's only in the practice mode that you see the overall explanation once you check your answer. So I can click on question. Let's say I don't want to answer this one. I can click on skip. But please ensure that you attempt all questions. Okay? Ensure you attempt all questions. We have 60 questions in each of the practice tests. So I'm skipping back to question 3. Okay? And that is on a passage about the impact of social media on mental health. Now, this particular practice test is on comprehension and summary. Okay, remember we have 6 practice tests. The first 3 are modeled in line with JAM, so that in each of the practice tests you have 60 questions, and those 60 questions, comprehension and summary, 25 questions, lexis and structure, 25 questions, that's 50. Then 10 questions from oral forms. Okay, so but in the last 3 practice tests, that is comprehension and summary, basis and structure, okay, and then passages. We have structured them, okay, we have structured them to focus on different domains and areas. So the fourth practice test focus on comprehension. Then, okay, look at it. The 6 practice tests, one, two, three, four, five, six. First one is focused on JAM, 60 questions from those 3 areas of English language. Same thing with the second one and third one. And the fourth practice test is all about comprehension and summary. Then the fifth one is all about lexis and structure and test of orals. Then the sixth practice test is focused on the recommended novel. So in the first 3 practice tests, we have drilled you through the real JAM exam setting. But in the test 4, we have collected about 60 quality standard questions that focus only on comprehension and summary. The same thing with test 5, lexis and structure and test of orals. Everything you see there will focus on lexis and structure and test of orals. And then the last one, practice test 6, focuses on the recommended novel only. So in that practice test 6, every question there will be all about the recommended novel. So let's say you want to test your abilities. You have read the recommended novel so many times and you want to see how much you have learned, how much you can remember. Then go to the recommended novel practice test and test yourself. All the 6 questions there are extracted from the recommended novel. So I want to go back to the test and resume. So that is, remember, all this while I've been talking, the time has been ticking. So as you're taking the practice test, don't get distracted, okay? Focus on it until you are done. So remember, this particular passage will be, was repeated, okay? That's what we've been reading. According to the instruction here, this passage, read this passage attentively and answer questions 1 to 15. So from question 1 to 15, you'll be using this passage to answer the questions. So what does social media contribute to low self-esteem? Oh, why does social media contribute to low self-esteem? Um, okay. Yeah, the second one, I think that's the right one. So you click on next question. So let's say I am done. I am done with the practice test. Sorry, with the practice test. Okay, I'm done with this practice test. The exam mode. I want to end it. I want to finish it. Okay, I will click on finish test, and then I will confirm by clicking on finish test again. When I do that, I'm going to see, oh my God, I failed. That is so unfortunate. Okay, I failed because I only um, got 3% right. Okay, remember the passing score is 80% plus. All right, so I basically answered two uh, questions. Okay, I basically answered three attempt failed, 3% correct. Okay, so two out of 60 questions. All right, that's what I answered under 8 minutes. Okay, now you're going to see an analysis of the ones that are correct, 3%, only 3% were correct. And then I answered 3% of comprehension passage and 3% of closed passage according to the domains. Okay, this pie has simplified it. Good, so 3.3% correct. So I can click on review questions. Okay, it is in these review questions that you're going to see the overall explanation attached to each of the questions. Good. So in these review questions, you can quickly see all the 60 questions in one view, or you click on the correct ones and see the ones you got right. Okay. Or if you got some of them wrong, you click on the incorrect. And then if you want to see the ones you skipped, you click on skipped. Now remember, we only answered two questions, and then out of the two, we got the two correct. And we skipped 58 because there are 60. So 60 minus 2, 58. I want to check the ones I skipped. I click on skipped. Good. So this is it. Now look at my answers. In the first question, this is what I chose. And then this is the overall explanation. So remember, in the practice mode, as soon as you are picking your option and you are clicking on check answer, you are going to see the overall explanation immediately. But for practice mode, for exam mode, the real exam mode, you are not going to see the summary or the explanation immediately until you have finished your test. Okay. So this is it. Okay, this is it. I hope that with this you can click on back to result view so that you can see the simplified summary. So I hope that with this I have been able to explain to you how to navigate through the dashboard and how to take the test. Remember, we have practice mode and test mode. Practice mode and test mode. So in the practice mode, you are warming up. In the exam mode, you are taking the real exam. Now we have modeled this practice test to look like JAMB examination. I keep repeating this. We have modeled and simulated this JAMB practice test to look like JAMB examination. So if you can do very well in this practice test, okay, I promise you at the end of by the time you have taken your JAMB exam, you'll be proud of your performance. Okay? Because with this, you are short of 300 plus. Okay, because remember, JAMB is not only testing your intelligence, it is also testing your speed. So JAMB is not just an exam for intelligent people, it's also a test of smartness and speed. So in as much as you want to be getting all the questions right to be correct every time, you need to also be fast because you only have 2 hours to answer to take 4 subjects. So 60 questions from English and 40 questions from the other 3 subjects. So you have 180 questions answered under 2 hours. So it means that approximately you should be spending 30 minutes for each of the subjects. And that's why we have allocated 30 minutes for all the practice tests within this practice test. So if you can practice with this practice test, if you can Practice with what we have here, and you do very well in those questions. I promise you are going to do excellently well in your JAMB exam. I wish you the best. Remember, you can always connect with me, share this practice test with your friends. If you have any question, please reach out to me directly on Udemy, or you come to social media, Facebook or YouTube, and then drop your questions in the comments, and then we discuss. And for the last time, please, I want to plead with you. Always review your experience. Give us amazing review. You can see what this person gave us here. This is our honest impression about this our practice. And see what she said. I enrolled in this JAMB English language exam CBT test course, and it has been absolutely fantastic. What makes it even better is how helpful and flexible it has been for my daughter, who previously struggled with focus and learning. So this is an honest review about our impression in this practice test. So please, whenever you are prompted by Udemy to review and rate us, please drop your honest review. Okay, rate and comment. Tell us what you love about the practice. This is great. If you have any question, please always reach out to me. If you're having technical problem assessing the practice test, or if you're having issues enrolling in the practice test, please reach out to me on social media or directly on Udemy. And we have many more practice tests, okay, not just on English language, but across all other subjects. All other subjects that you take in school, we have JAM practice test, WEG practice test, NICO practice test. So if you have enrolled in this English language practice test and you are done, okay, you can also enroll in the other ones in other subjects, in all your four subjects. We have practice tests for all your four subjects. So I wish you the best. Wish you good luck in your exam.